What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Charles Oliveira breaks silence on UFC 300 fight. After a cut forced him out of his previously scheduled fight with Islam Makhachev, Charles Oliveira agreed to fight Arman Tsarukyan in a title eliminator at UFC 300. The move left many wondering why the former champion didn't wait and try to hold out for a fight with Makhachev after the champ returns to action following Ramadan. During a recent interview with MMA Mania, Oliveira opened up on his decision, indicating that in addition to wanting to stay active rather than take a year off, at the end of the day, he fights whoever the UFC puts in front of him. I'm employed by Zuffa, so I need to accept what they bring to me, and that's what I'm going to do. If I was supposed to wait for the title, I would have fought only in the end of the year, and I don't like to wait too much to fight. And that would be like waiting for 1 year almost, so that's why I accepted this challenge. In the meantime, however, with Oliveira and Tsarukyan set to fight, Islam Makhachev has indicated his desire to defend the title against Dustin Poirier over the summer. Although the champ has made it clear that he doesn't believe Poirier deserves a crack at the title, he wants to remain active. During the previously mentioned interview, Oliveira weighed in on the situation, saying, "I don't even think about that, to be honest. This is information that comes from the internet, and people like to talk a lot on the internet. I'm not worried about that. I know that I'm the next in line. So that's it." With Oliveira, Tsarukyan, and Justin Gaethje all eager to stake their claim to a title shot, UFC 300 is sure to deliver fireworks. Next up, let's take a look at Khabib's coach fires back at Daniel Cormier for comment. Recently, Hall of Famer Daniel Cormier ruffled some feathers when he indicated that he believes Islam Makhachev is a more dangerous fighter than former lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov in his prime. As Cormier explained, with Makhachev being a talented striker, in addition to being a dominant grappler, his well-rounded skill set makes him a bigger threat than the Eagle. During a recent interview with MMA Mania, aka head coach Javier Mendez spoke about the comments.
He's more skilled in multiple areas.
Yeah.
Yes. More dangerous. Nobody's more dangerous, in my opinion, in the world than Khabib. No one. I don't care. I haven't seen one that's more dangerous than Khabib in the sense of danger, meaning you can't do nothing to him. Very difficult to do anything to him. Khabib's the most dangerous, in my opinion, because first of all, in my opinion, this is my opinion, and I'm being biased because I love him to death.
Yeah.
He's got the hardest chin I've ever seen on anybody. He's been hit. I don't think there's ever been a man more dangerous than Khabib.
With Cormier, Nurmagomedov, and Makhachev all having a great and entertaining relationship, expect some funny interactions between the trio when they reunite. Next up, let's take a look at Paddy Pimblett gets called out again. Paddy Pimblett and Renato Moicano seem to be on a collision course with one another for this summer. However, another lightweight has now thrown their name into the mix. This week on social media, Drew Dauber called for a fight between he and the Baddie, opening up the door to another possible matchup for the streaking Scouser. In a post on social media, Dauber wrote, "I've always wanted to fight in London. I wonder if there's any Scousers interested in creating some beautiful violence for the fans." Dauber, of course, is fresh off a February loss to Renato Moicano and is eager to return to the win column after starting off the year on the wrong foot. According to UFC CEO Dana White, who spoke in an interview with TNT Sports, the UFC is headed back to England for a pay-per-view event in 2024, giving fans hope that the event will coincide with Pimblett's return.
We're going to England, so we're coming, and I got great fights lined up for the UK fans. And I'm excited to get back there. I'm excited to get back to England. I haven't been to England in a minute, and I'm excited to get back there. We're right there working on this stuff. We got some badass plans for England. Number card, buddy. Number card, pay-per-view.
That's what I like.
A great one.
As White also indicated, fans can expect an announcement regarding the card within days. Next, let's take a look at Dana White reacts to embarrassing moment. UFC CEO Dana White recently appeared on the Sage Steele show, where he recently got more than he bargained for. At two separate points during the appearance, the host referred to Dana White as Joe Rogan. Early on in the program, after getting the UFC boss to agree to wear a pair of socks, Steele stated, "Thanks, Joe.
I wear them during the show. Like, that's my thing."
These say yum, yum, yum on them. You want to see how comfortable I am?
I really do.
I'm going yum, yum, yum.
The test, no way.
Yum,
this
yum,
is
yum.
I love you. This is making my day. Yum, yum. We're going to leave that alone. Yum, yum. Thanks, Joe.
Now,
the gaffe went unnoticed. However, later on in the show, she asked, "What's Joe Rogan's dream?" leaving the UFC boss stunned.
What's Joe Rogan's dream?
what's Joe Rogan's dream?
Joe Rogan, Dana White. What's Dana White's dream?
Did you just Think I was Joe Rogan?
I totally did.
She just called me Joe Rogan. You thought I was Joe Rogan?
Yeah, I thought you were Joe Rogan.
I was bald before Joe was ever bald. Okay?
I know.
Just did a 2-hour podcast. I flew here from Vegas, and she thought she was interviewing Joe Rogan.
Jesus.
Later in the day, White was pulled over and made sure to snap a picture for Instagram, tagging Steele and captioning it, "I hope they think I'm Joe Rogan." So far, Rogan hasn't weighed in on the hilarious situation. Next, let's take a look at MMA community roasts Israel Adesanya and Jamahal Hill. Leading up to his UFC 300 bout with Alex Pereira, Jamahal Hill sought out the advice of former middleweight kingpin Israel Adesanya. With the last stylebender fighting Pereira both in MMA and in kickboxing, he knows Poatan and his style incredibly well. In a post on Instagram, Hill shared a screenshot of he and Adesanya on FaceTime, writing, "Picking one of the greatest minds in the history of the sport." While Adesanya won the most recent meeting between he and Pereira, fans were quick to react with jokes. As one wrote, "Yeah, so first you go 3-0 and then land a Hail Mary in the 4th fight and claim from a bar that you beat him one time. Izzy." Another added, "From an Izzy fan, I'm not sure this is the dude to be taking advice from regarding Alex Pereira." Another echoed a similar sentiment, writing, "I don't know if you want to ask the guy who lost to him 3 times for advice." One questioned the decision entirely, writing, "Should maybe go train with him. What's FaceTime gonna accomplish?" One member of the community wrote, "Hill has been saying it's an easy fight for months, but he needs Izzy's help." Another took the opportunity to take a jab at the last stylebender, writing, "Advice. Lose to him 3 times, and maybe in the 4th you'll get the W. My experience, though." With Pereira training with Sean Strickland and Adesanya now helping Hill prepare for the light heavyweight champ, the rivalry between the two may still be alive and well, even if it is indirectly. Next, let's take a look at UFC Fight Updates. Heading into this weekend's UFC Fight Night Atlantic City card, let's take a look at some UFC fight updates, starting with a fight between Joshua Van and Lucas Hosha being scratched from the upcoming UFC Vegas 90 card on April 6. According to reports, Lucas Hosha withdrew from the bout. However, so far it's remained unclear as to what happened here. Given the short notice withdrawal, it's unlikely that the UFC manages to find Van a replacement opponent in time. In addition, a bantamweight bout between Garrett Armfield and Brady Highstand has been confirmed for the upcoming UFC Fight Night card on June 15th. The bout will see Armfield look to rebuild on a 2-fight win streak that most recently saw him defeat Brad Katona in January. And on the flip side, Highstand will be looking to build on a 2-fight win streak of his own that most recently saw him defeat Badgaril Dana in April of 2023. Now let's shift gears and take a look at Dustin Poirier reveals big money move. On the heels of his massive victory over Benoit Saint-Denis and ahead of what's expected to be a crack at the lightweight title, Dustin Poirier has signed an endorsement deal with Bud Light. Poirier announced the news in a video for social media, sitting around a bunch of cases of Bud Light.
Guys, after a big win at UFC 299, there's only one way to celebrate. Crack it open, an ice cold Bud Light. Cheers.
During a recent interview with Fox News Digital on the heels of the announcement, Poirier opened up on the deal, making it clear that he's excited for the future and is unbothered by the controversy surrounding the brand in the past. "Dude, I'm pumped about this. Bud Light Budweiser is an American brand that's been around. It's historic. It's been involved in sports forever. When I got the call to be on the team, I was super excited. I didn't have any stress being in line with this brand. Obviously, this year they're starting a new partnership with the UFC, but they've been in the octagon for a long time." Here's what the MMA community had to say. "Nah, come on, Dustin. You have a daughter, man. Dustin will do anything for money. I'm not gonna lie, it's hilarious seeing Bud Light trying so hard to get back in the good side of all the people they pissed off. The UFC 299 champ, Bud Light misses again. You're doing everything you can to get back your customers after that stunt you pulled. LOL. Brutal decision here, bud. Huge fan, and I get that y'all trying to bring Bud Light back, but this just ain't it. Money is money, but damn, Dustin. LOL. Bud Light is a joke. Dustin was my favorite fighter, but now knowing he stands for nothing, it's sad. They're trying hard to get their base back. Words of advice. Don't pander to 0.02% of your customers if it's going to piss off 70% of them. Send me an offer letter, and I'll help you build your brand." With Bud Light once again being the official beer of the UFC, it'll be interesting to see if more and more fighters follow suit and sign their own respective deals with the company. Top comments. The heavyweight division is a mess. It's getting pretty sickening that all these champions can sit there and pick and choose who they defend against. That's complete BS. They should be fighting the next best guy, no questions asked, or forfeit the belt. Mike Tyson would be proud of that fight. Dana's right, social media has a lot of BS on it, like Power Slap for instance. Yeah, that would be weird having random people show up. I live down the road from Stephen King in Maine. I would never go to someone's home like that. make sure to leave a comment and you might get featured in our next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss any MMA news. Check out our video from yesterday if you missed it. See you tomorrow.